Well, sure.
Yeah. I was delivering in downtown Port today earlier, and I was looking at all the scaffolding and the like bare bones structure of the new monstrosity that's going up by the lake. And the thought just like I want to go on the I'm not much of a meme maker, but I want to go on the local like Port Washington Voice page and have like a meme of like, oh, you want to look at a natural body of water with your eyes? Well, that's going to cost you. Didn't know you had such expensive taste. Because the thing is fucking massive.
My mom actually sent me a few pictures because we were talking about it, and she's just really disgusted by all that building. And then she was telling me how they're putting condos where like St. Vinny's is and all that stuff now down on Highway C, which obviously for anybody not from the area doesn't mean much, but it's just, you know, a small town that the farmland's being eaten up and the quaint, you know, small town fields being eaten up by, you know, condos and shitty rich people businesses like mountain climbing stores, even though there's not a mountain in Wisconsin. But anyways, she had sent me pictures of that downtown or down by the lake, and I just could not believe like what it looks like now, where like Newport Shores was and all that stuff. And then she was telling me about the guy that she thinks is the developer of a lot of these places that she sees like walking around town. And for some reason in my mind, I was like picturing Daniel Day-Lewis from There Will Be Blood. But as like this guy's walking around, I'm a condo man.
My mind went there too. 100%.
I'm a condo man. I make condos.
He's lying, you know, where he's like, what did he say in the movie where he's like, we've traveled 100 miles across our great state, even though he's probably from a different fucking state, you know?
Right, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I don't have too much material on that, but I was joking about with her quite a bit the other night. Just that, it's just Daniel Day-Lewis walking around prospecting on fucking Port Washington for sure. So,
yep.
Good to get that whole, topic out of the way, because it's obvious. Even though I'm not around there anymore, it's like a source of frustration for me as well, you know, just knowing that it's going on. Like, whenever I get back again, it's like, am I even going to recognize this place anymore, you know? So
You won't.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
It's wild. But to better news, what you been doing this week?
Oh, man, I've just been... as I said last week, I've been learning the stick shift, and I figured out one way I was faltering. So for the first 3-4 days, I was especially anytime I was going uphill, I was going obviously first, second, and then the thought was kept popping in my head. I'm like, man, third gear doesn't really have much to it. Like every time I better keep it in second going up this hill because third gear just ain't shit. And then I realized yesterday that I've been sticking it right to fifth when I'm going to third because they're right next to each other. Yeah. So 1, 2, 5. So, but I'm at least I got it figured out now. Other than that, man, I woke up this morning and I don't know how. Let me ask you. How often do you shave your balls?
I usually just do a touch-up if I think I might be getting laid.
What's a touch-up, though? What does a touch-up entail? Like, you don't have to, you know, explain the folds or anything, but, like, what's a touch-up?
I mean, you just make it look nice, you know? Give it a little comb over, put a little gel, frost the tips.
Fair enough. Well, I woke up this morning and like, I just, it's not something I think about, and it's probably, well, it's definitely a symptom of being single for a while, but I just hadn't thought about, trimming down under for a while. And I woke up this morning and I went to take a piss and I looked down, I'm like, oh my God. Like, is my dick still in there? And like I was actually late to work this morning because I was like, this,
because you were shaving.
This is going to be handled before I go anywhere.
I will say that would be the other time I do it. Like, there's no routine. There's no, it's like if there's a reason that I think I should, maybe be concerned if I need it to be presentable, like there's that. And then there's, the times where, it's just all of a sudden you realize there's a jungle and you're like, I got to do something about that. So yeah, that'd be about, I think, the norm. I'd say that's probably how it goes for most people.
Yeah. Not that I'd get written up for being 15 minutes late, but I'll get written up because if I don't take care of this, I'm going to write myself up.
It'd just been funny if you decided that you had to tell everybody, you get into work, you're just like, God, I'm so sorry. To your boss, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to be late, I just really had to shave my balls, but you're dead serious about it. I'm so sorry I'm late, but you would not believe the mess that my balls were in. I just had to shave them. I had to. You got no options here. I was coming into work, I got out of the shower, and man, was it a mess. I mean, it was something like crazy, so... I thought I might have slept in a pile of Miracle Grow last night.
You almost made me spit up a perfectly good shot of whiskey. Anyway,
so you're not just drinking Myler Lite; you got a little whiskey there too. See, trying to hide your behaviors.
Well, what you been up to this week, buddy?
Oh, just working, the typical, week stuff. Didn't really do too much. Still, as we were talking, I don't know if it's going to make it to the podcast, but as we were talking about eating dinner and watching games or whatever, still doing the work all day, watch some basketball at night, get my ass in bed. So, nothing terribly exciting, but it's really lovely weather, and it's just in a nice routine. Nothing I got to talk about is really. Well, actually, you know what? It's fine. I'm glad I just looked at the page. So, the other night I got done working a little bit earlier than I usually do, and I had been hearing all day about the vaccines. And we're starting to slow down with the rate of vaccination. We really need people to go and get it. And I'm like, you know what? I've been putting it off, and I know it's available. I'm going to look up an appointment here, and I'm going to go probably get it taken care of this afternoon. So I'm figuring out the time, and I'm just making sure that I got everything in order, just thinking is this the best time to go? Is there other stuff I can do? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm literally, the timing about this is what makes it so perfect. And it might be kind of like a had to be there sort of thing. But I'm literally about to schedule my appointment for in an hour and leave and go. And as I'm about to click for my appointment, there's a news story that comes on. And please, I don't want this to discourage anybody who's, confident in getting it or wants to get it, and I don't want to spread any, misinformation, so, do your own research. But there's a news story, and this was on NPR, about how some countries are mismatched in their supply between Moderna and Pfizer, and they're going to have to start giving people one of one and one of the other. And so the discussion then went to... well, is this okay? And they're like, well, they both use the same science. They shouldn't really interfere with one another, and it should be fine. But this is what actually made me not go in. They said then that there's a chance that getting one of each might actually be more effective than getting both the same, because since they are slightly different, they might give you more of a blanket of protection against different variants and stuff. And they also said that you might not have as bad of side effects on your second dose as some people have been having when you get the two different ones. So I'm about to schedule, and then I hear this, and I'm like, well, if that might be the better way to go, and they're doing the science on it now, I'm just going to wait until they figure this shit out,
Huh. Yeah. I've been, there's a friend of mine that used to work with at the restaurant. Now I technically kind of work with at my new company. That he just got his second shot of the Moderna yesterday, and I talked to him today. He was feeling like absolute dog shit. He was saying he's got a real bad headache and bad chills and like kind of like it's almost like he's got like hot flashes and cold flashes. Like he says, he feels like shit. And obviously, people get those reactions, but it goes away in a day or two, whatever. But
right.
And I've just been hesitant myself because, and again, as you said, I'm not discouraging anybody necessarily. I'm just, my thoughts are, do I really need to get it right now when it's still technically like in development of like they're still figuring out if this works or not? And like I had COVID 8 months ago. I think I'm probably okay for the time being to like wait it out a little bit until it's like proven that this fucking works. I mean, and also like I've heard some shit where it's like they're saying you might need to get a COVID vaccination like every 8 months, which I feel is very ridiculous as far as frequency goes. Like, so like I just don't know. I will say that I want to preface this by saying, again, I'm not anti-mask either, but I've stopped wearing a mask when I walk into the gas station. Like if it's just me and the dude behind the counter and I'm buying a case of beer, I'm over that shit. Like who fucking cares? Like he's even got a fucking plexiglass field in front of him. It's fine. If I go to Walmart,
my whole move on that is kind of like you said. I just look for like, so if I look in the gas station and it's like kind of crowded, or even if I see like two people but they both have their masks on, I'm like, well, I'll put on my mask just because, like, not because I'm following. It's like, well, they want to have their masks on, be protected. I'll just put it on, like, because I see other people wearing it. But if I, like, look in and nobody's wearing it, and even, like, some of the clerks, I don't know if they got vaccinated or what, but they've recently stopped wearing their masks. So, yeah, I get that a little bit. I've definitely been a little bit more loose about it myself. I will say that it is proven that they work. Like, it's very much proven that they work, because if they didn't work, we would still be seeing cases skyrocketing through the U.S. and the death rate as much as it was. So I just want to back up a little bit and say it is proven that you said that it hasn't been proven to work. It has been proven to work. Like, we know that much.
No, the vaccine, not masks. That I wasn't talking about.
No, I know. I'm glad that you made the distinction, but I was going back and talking about vaccines.
Oh, okay.
I had kind of like skipped over, like, yeah. So good point to point that out. But no, I mean the vaccines are proven to work. So like we should get them. And here's really the tricky thing. And maybe this actually just answered my question for myself of whether I'm going to go or wait for more science about whether it's better to get one of each instead, is that if we get everybody vaccinated in a hurry, there's actually a chance that we will stop the spread so much that then we won't need boosters, because we will actually achieve quote-unquote herd immunity. But the longer that people delay and go without getting vaccinated, and it can keep spreading like silently, and then it creates new variants. The more that it spreads, the more it evolves, the more new variants, which will then be, stronger than the vaccine, will be created. So the best way to stop ourselves from having to do the boosters every 8 months or every year is if everybody were to just go get vaccinated right now. That would actually allow us to stop, or allow us to not have to deal with the boosters.
Okay, fair enough. If you follow my mother's line of logic, and I want to be clear that I'm not endorsing this, if you even stand next to somebody who's been vaccinated, you could go sterile. So just keep that in mind.